Bleh. Bleh, bleh, bleh. Mm-hmm. Yum, 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 yum. Ooh. Okay. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Oh God. Do 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 do. Boop 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 boop. Boop 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 boop. Boop 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 boop. All right. All right. And looking through all of the things. Sorry, I was late for like a minute. I had to go to the bathroom. Yum, 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 yum. Ba da ba 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 da ba 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 ba. Da 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 do do. Boop 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 boop. Boo do 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 do. Ba do do do. Should probably put some music on. Come on. It's here. Alright, yeah, that looks nice. First I gotta wait for this damn ad! Are we listening to lo-fi? Oh, heck yeah, lo-fi, yeah. Hi, Idea Maker. I'm sorry I'm not, like, super high energy at the moment. I have, like, really bad allergies right now, and it's fucking killing me. So basically what we're gonna do today is we are going to be looking at like some ways that I personally do art studies. It doesn't have to be everybody's thing. This is just all the things that I do, and just asking the audience what do they want to know? Like what is their approaches, or like what we can all compare notes. Notes. Yes, notes. We can compare notes. We can look at notes. We can write notes.
I have been summoned.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
I'll boop. I'll boop you.
Ah, I'm dead.
The boops.
Killed.
Boops.
Crimson committed murder.
Nom nom. Nom nom nom. A tiny board, because oh my god, you are tiny.
Yeah, give me my height back.
Okay, I will do so as soon as I find it. Here it is. There you go. There you go. You're bigger.
I'm big again.
But you're still shorter than me.
Lies.
Not lies. It is truth.
You are the shortest
Nope.
in the multiverse.
Nope. Idea Maker says hi.
Hi.
I do apologize. I'm not super high energy. I just explained to chat. I'm not sick. I am suffering through allergies, and so I need all of the things. I need all of the squishies, and I need all of the tissue paper. Which is all the way over there, which I'm going to grab right now. Give me a second. I'll probably grab some water too, just while I'm at it.
I don't want to work today, but I have to for money. Excuse me. It's Crimson's fault. Always has been. Ugh. Why am I so tired? Crimson's really going and getting that water. Damn. She's going to have to pee like crazy during stream. She's getting this much water. What are you people doing today? Ugh. Tired. You kinda smell like a baka. Ehrenjäger. Oof. Head. I'm dead. New bread? What's wrong with the old bread? I'm doing okay. I'm just visibly sleepy.
To grab some num-nums because I literally woke up and then started stream. Even I was
Fair.
late. I went to the bathroom, but that's about it.
I was saying, if you're gone that much, drinking that much, you're gonna have to pee like a racehorse later.
All right. So what did you talk with Chad about? What is this?
Apparently just something with bread and just how tired I am. I don't know why I'm so tired. I'm just really eepy.
Oh, he's an eepy boy.
I had to get up around 4 o'clock to pee, and I couldn't fall back to sleep easy. So.
Aw, eepy boy. That's... All right.
And now the dogs are barking.
Well, we can't hear it off Chad, so that's good. All right. So I'll get started a little bit. Hi everybody. If you know me already, hello. This is Bork, and today we're going to be learning about the almighty art study. I want to point out that the specific type of art study that I go to is art style studies, which is very different from like a normal art study, which is something everybody should be doing on a day-to-day, but I'll explain that a little more as I go. I know that everybody's got their own way of doing art. This is mine. So if you find a different technique, feel free to share, feel free to connect, and let's see what we can learn together. All right, so let's get the simple stuff out of the way. I guess first thing that you really should do before doing an art study. Let me write down art. Ooh, that's too bright. There we go. Art study list. There we go. I would say fundamentals first.
Are they fun fundamentals?
They're all fundamentals. So the reason why why fundamentals are always first is that you should develop. Hold on. No, my nose.
Make her nose more itchy, chat.
I bit my tongue.
Oh. Ow.
Sorry. Fundamentals are immensely important for the fact that you need to learn shape language, and you need to learn anatomy and whatnot. And so having those fundamentals, those basics first, will help you understand like what the style will tell you about how they use those fundamentals. You need to learn perspective. You need to learn anatomy. You need to learn proportion, value, composition, line, all this stuff. Usually, you'll be able to see this in your normal art classes. Like your classes will usually cover this as like your first all of your lessons, like especially a basic class, and then it'll expand upon it in other classes. Personally, I do think that a live course is actually better for you than like saying looking at YouTube videos, but not everybody can afford going on a YouTube video, or not everybody can afford Skillshare or an online class or a day-to-day class. So looking at fundamentals via art books and art videos, there are quite a few different art programs or art tutorials depending on what you want specifically.
I'm gonna kiss Spider-Man.
Do it. Kiss Spider-Man. Smooch him. As far as like people I would probably listen to, Picarto is definitely one who has like how to start drawing. There's Mark Brunnett has a video about the 7 fundamentals. There is Blue Biscuit, and all of these different art programs are going to teach you art videos or art fundamentals are important. Just like anything from learning to draw right or learning to the blade to carve up everyone, you need the fundamentals. Absolutely.
Cut everyone up with the blade. Murder.
Murder. Murder, 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 murder.
The Vorpal blade.
And it's been a while since I've been in art classes, but the fundamentals that I know of are anatomy, perspective, form, value, light and shadow, not the hedgehog.
Damn it. You knew what I was gonna do.
I know you. I've seen into the future.
She can see into the future.
Future.
Never watched That's So Raven.
I highly suggest it. It's really good.
I have been told.
Color and composition.
What about composition and color?
Both are adequate. Learning these fundamentals specifically and in mastering the fundamentals. First of all, you never actually master anything when you draw.
Yeah, no.
Shadow is my third favorite Sonic character. Who is your second and first?
Exactly. That's a good question.
Yes, murder. Then do the gay or whatever you want to do afterwards.
You can murder, you can do the gay, it's all up to you.
Yay, the gay! The gay! I'm gonna shrink this a little bit, there we go.
So what we have planned.
And then just to differentiate this a little more.
My nose.
There we go. So all of these are all true if you want to learn any sort of art medium, period. You need to, if you want to sculpt, then you're going to need to learn form and how those shadows and lights are going to interact with the composition. If you're an artist, you need anatomy for trying to figure out how a human body works. That's just how that's kind of how it works. And there are a lot of different art styles that you kind of use these different fundamentals, and then it's about playing with them. If you skip this part when you're learning about the fundamentals of it, or when you're doing an art study, then you don't understand why they're making the choices that they are, right? Like,
Yeah.
like, let me pull out one of my examples here. So, obviously, this is not a perfect one-to-one of this image up here, right?
Yeah.
But I know why they made certain decisions the way they did, why they made this light so intense up here, and then how it kind of goes down, but then everything else is a neutral color before you get to these darker colors here. They help to identify the form. It helps to see things that maybe you wouldn't otherwise see if you were paying attention. You notice that there are certain things that aren't necessarily super rendered here, but you can still see the entire image is complete and structured, and the anatomy is mostly on point. But you have to understand why these decisions were made before you can do this art study. Why is the shadows? Where is the light coming from here, and why are there shadows so little over here, but they're so little over here, but they're so intense over here? Yes, 3D modeling can help you with this, but it's not going to be as useful as if you saw it in real life, which is why you need the fundamentals. And I'm going to tell you the truth, not everybody is going to always master it. Like, there are just some people who will skip some of these, and so some of their art looks jank, or sometimes it's just their artist eye, but there's a difference between an art style and making an art's choice. Like an art style versus just not knowing the fundamentals.
That's the tooth?
That's the tooth. Alright, so fundamentals. That's kind of like the first thing above all else. You need the fundamentals. These are important for every art study that you do, because these should be learned first before you move on to anything else. Okay, I think I pushed down fundamentals to everybody's throats. So say that you feel like you have a relatively good idea what you want, right? What do you want out of it? Or how fundamentals work, right? You feel like you've gotten to a point where you're like, okay, I know what these mean. I know what I know what fundamentals are, at least to the base level that I know. So now you want to do an art study. Again, this part of it is the fundamentals, but because we're talking about specifically an art study about art style studies, it's going to be a little different. Because in a normal art study, you're going to want to look at live. You're going to look at live items, right? And then process what those look like in real life. This would happen with a life drawing class or the Apple thing, right? But we're assuming that you've already gotten to this point where you feel pretty comfortable with anatomy, with perspective, with value, shadows, color, and composition. So what about if you wanted to do an art study on somebody's art style? Well, first, what do you want out of it?
$5.
No. No money for you.
What?
No money for you.
But isn't the point of... I'm not going to play the devil's advocate today.
What?
I was going to decide to be the devil's advocate of the stream and basically be that one guy in like a learning situation.
Oh, are you talking about like the straw man argument where it's like, but Crimson, what about this?
Pretty much, yeah. That was the plan.
Damn. Okay, third is Shadow. Second is SBO for the comic stuff. Fair. Valid. And number one is tied for Tails and Silver. Oh.
Finally, some Silver love.
You would voice Silver. For slightly different reasons and some stuff. For the girls, third is Vanilla. Valid. Second is Lupe. Lupe, I don't get to hear a lot about Lupe, honestly.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, hold on. I'll get the thingy.
You get the king.
We don't talk about her very much. Like, period. She was in
Archie.
She was in Archie. Oh, did you find an image already?
No, I'm just assuming because she doesn't sound like some IDW character. Speaking of which, the comic's finally out and looks really good.
Oh, good.
For the DC Sonic crossover.
Nice. I think we talked about it a little bit before, or at least I had already seen it, and it already looks fucking hilarious. I haven't read it yet, so I'm excited when that happens.
I don't know if it's online there yet, but when it is, I'll send you the link.
Yay!
Oh, yeah, wow, she looks very Archie.
I will point out she's
a TV show.
Yeah, she's also on a TV show. I believe... Yeah, she's in Sad AM.
That is... yeah.
Alright. Oh, and Bunny Rabbit. Yes!
Yeah! That, I remember her.
She was lightly in Sad AM and more stuff in the comics, yeah. Alright, so back to the stream. What do you want out of the art study? You don't necessarily need to have a sketch figured out. Like, it's not about the sketch, it's not about the sketch, it's not about it's not about the sketch. It's not about trying to get everything exactly right. Because if you try to get it done exactly right, that's not really what would happen to develop your skills, right? So for example, for me, let's talk about, I'm just gonna pull up one of these real quick. You know what, let me do Sonic. All right, let's, because we're on the topic, right?
Right.
So Sonic, I've always, before I started to draw and practice more with Sonic as an art style. I hated the Sonic art style. I hated it so damn much. Made no goddamn sense. They have no goddamn necks, and their anatomy is fucked. But then I started to do the art studies. I started to do, and specifically what I do, which I think is something that I do. Other people can see this, depending on how well you know this art style. So, for example, Sonic is pretty well known. You use your memory first to draw what you think the character should look like, or what the character looks like in your mind's eye, and then after that you draw from a reference.
I'm just concerned that I had an eye.
Nom nom. Let me try to find like what I did for the Sonic one, because I have those pictures saved. I'm doing the thing. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find it. It's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a minute. Please forgive me.
You are somewhat forgiven.
No, not somewhat.
What?
In the butt.
No, not the butt.
In the butt.
No.
Yes.
It's always the butt with you, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Okay. Here we go. Here it is. Alright, I'm going to use this and post it here. I should probably have done something different here. Okay, I'm gonna just open it as like a separate thing. Sorry. Alright, and we're opening, and look at downloads. There you are. Alright. So if you're super familiar with the art study, or with the art style itself, like say that you've seen this art style since you were a kid, I would say to identify, to identify what you see as that style, and then look at it from a reference. So as you can see here, I did a Sonic one, and the reference was Sonic's head. And it's a little off. I know it's a little off. But it's also just how they're designed. It's what I personally remember as what that art style looks like, right? And then the second one is with a reference. I actually went to the IDW comics about it. I forget who the artist is who does this one. But even from that, it is very off. It's very off. But basically I broke down, hey, what makes this art style what it is, and I broke it down via looking at what their body types look like, what are the influences for that body type, naming conventions, and trying to figure out, hey, what are the monikers of this art style. I actually have a few pictures of me trying to figure out like how this works via species. So it's like I have hedgehog, echidna. I even got lemur in here from Tangle. Cat was also fun. And then I also did lizards or chameleons. And then I basically took those elements and then I developed what was And then I developed the eye of like, what does that character look like in this art style, or at least how does this work fundamentally. But what I wanted to get out of this is how to simplify in the best way that is identifiable, but not over extravagant. Which you can actually see a lot in this style right here. I would say that if I had to critique myself on it, there are definitely parts that would probably be taken out just because it's too little detail. For example, like certain spots would probably be taken out to simplify the form. Certain colors would probably be added just because it's simpler to do that art style. Even in IDW and Archie comics, specifically for shark characters, they can't remember whether or not to give them tails, which I always thought was funny.
Tails are hard.
So I guess that the first question that you want is, what do you want out of your art style? Do you want to learn anatomy? Do you want to learn color choice? Do you want to learn do you want to learn color choice? Do you want to learn anatomy? Do you want to learn simplification and character design? What is it that you want out of this study? Because not everything is going to be perfect. I remember when I was very young, one of my teachers when I was very young, we were doing pointillism, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't know, pointillism is where you take a dot and then you make a bunch of little dots and you try to make an image out of those dots. And as a little kid, that is not functional, I think. Like I feel like that is not a very good like confidence builder, especially when you're not only do you not understand like how colors work in the first place, but this art style doesn't really allow you to, at least as a kid, you don't develop these until you've learned about them. Maybe you did learn about them and you're just like a prodigy at learning. But pointillism is great, in my opinion, as an older person who can appreciate it more.
You called yourself old.
I said older person. I didn't say I was old. There's a difference. So anyway, as somebody who can appreciate it more now than I did then, the pointillism is great for picking your colors. It's also great for understanding how shadows work in colors and how those colors will form later. If you want like an example of that in modern day, old school comic books used to go on the the CMYK method, which basically just means that it had a very limited color scheme, and then they put layers of the colors on to create the desired color that you wanted at the very end. Which is why when you look at comic books now versus comic books then, like if you like an old comic from like the 60s and it looks really off to you with the digital coloring, it's because it doesn't look like that from its original text. Let me... Old comic coloring versus digital coloring. Alright, All right, here's a really great example, actually. This is so let me go here.
Where are we going?
We're going on an adventure.
Space adventure?
Yes.
Adventure in space?
So you can see here that all these have like different color names. This is actually at the point where they were doing RYB. But they would use these different codes to like make the different colors and show that how vibrant they are. Which I think they stopped doing as soon as they discovered that digital art could exist. And it became like a big thing. Actually, this is a DC Comics kind of color chart here. So does anybody have any questions so far about what I'm going through? I know that I kind of am going through a lot of concepts right now and kind of like jumping from thing to thing.
Idea maker, I'm calling you out in front of the class.
Oh, you're getting voluntold. Do you remember that when like teachers would like look at the audience and go at their class and go like, "You, what did you learn? Like, what question do you have?" And you're just like, I don't have a question. Why did you pick me? Why is this happening?
I'm just eepy. I have to go to the bathroom.
Yes, what was your question? I had to go to the bathroom. Oh, okay, just fucking go.
Just grab a hall pass.
I think that's another thing I liked about college. That you didn't actually need to like ask to go to the bathroom. How does one
I just do it just to be nice because I don't want them to like ask where are you going.
Right. Oh, okay. How do you find a good way to start with anatomy? So this is coming back to the fundamentals here. But the best way of doing fundamental anatomy is to, one, look at actual people. So I'm gonna also write this down because I know that this can be hard for people.
Pure bull.
Anatomy, how?
Oops, see? Wait, that's like the man that you used
All right,
to be.
so looking at normal people, and by normal people, I mean like humans. Obviously people have all sorts of shapes and sizes, and kind of figuring out what's supposed to be there and what's not supposed to be there is very important. For me, looking at people and then looking at how their faces are formed, you start seeing patterns, right? And like say that you want to learn anatomy and you're trying to find out like how tall somebody is. That comes in with perspective, but anatomy, usually speaking, the average person, the average adult is approximately 6 heads tall. 5.5 to 6 heads tall.
That's a lot of heads.
Head. Been thinking about getting at least one drawing off the ground all month. Watched a tutorial, but was hesitant to getting to the original part. So looking at references, it kind of comes with that. With people, because you're learning the fundamentals, right? This is a fundamental thing. I'd also look at faces. Usually faces and hands are a good way to start. Like, hold on. Also, another thing is learning like realistic proportions. I wouldn't go to comic books. I wouldn't go to like cartoons to learn basic anatomy. It's a good way to start. Like if you're like, oh, I really like Bruce Timm style, right? I like the way he draws women. I like the way he draws men. You have to remember that these are still exaggerated proportions. Like, he still draws men like with a big Dorito torso, and then women have like the world's tiniest waist, and then like an
biggest
hourglass
ass
figure. Well, not really, honestly. Like, I looked at it recently, and like, that's not a big ass. It's kind of just there with very little for variation, but that's because it's for animation. And it's easier to have like the same body type over and over again. I kind of admire Bruce Timm a lot more now than I did back then, because
I still think he's a bit of a pervert.
He is a pervert, but so is Paul Dini.
And Stan Lee.
And Stan Lee, for various reasons. Like, you know that one picture with him naked and with a comic covering his crotch?
I did not know that. All I know is he made Stripperella.
Yeah, he did make Stripperella. But he did that. He just did that unprompted, by the way. Somebody just took a picture. That wasn't a photo shoot or anything. He just did that in a workplace. And they were like, oh, he wants to get his picture taken. Come on, let's go. Let's see, another thing that you also have to understand when it comes to anatomy, while faces are very important, getting the whole proportion of a person is also very important. Remembering that the spine is not a straight line. Remembering that posture is going to make it something different. That this is the line that you want when you're making a person. This all comes from like doing art for a long time, and it was beaten the crap into me that a person is 5 to 6 heads tall as an adult. Kids are approximately, or no, I'm sorry, I lied to you all. It's 8 heads. A normal person is about 8 heads tall, and then a child is about 5 to 4 heads tall.
Also, there's the Sonic comic.
Oh, it's here. Yay! Thank you. I will look at that later. Also, understanding, like, you have to understand how to draw it before you can understand how it moves. Like, understanding that the face, in its most basic form, is about the same size as your palm. This is me very much exaggerating the simplicity of it. But I know that anatomy can be really intimidating, but looking at human beings and looking at pictures of human beings is a lot easier to understand those fundamentals than just like going off of a cartoon or going off of what we were talking about Sonic earlier, so looking at like Ken Pender's era art is not a really great understanding of what anatomy looks like on a person. It is stylized, it's heavily stylized, and I can see why a lot of people probably turned into furries after reading that era of comic books. But it doesn't really tell you how the hand is in relation to the body, because the head is already so exaggeratedly huge that it's not really a good basis to understand what humans look like. Let's see. A good drawing book that I have, I actually have this. It was a collaboration with ABD Illustrates and 100 lessons, 100 art lessons. Let me just grab it real quick so I can get it. Alright, I got it. So, it's called Draw Like an Artist, 100 Lessons to Create. Specifically, this one is create anime and manga characters. I don't recommend this as your first book, but if you're trying to learn, basic art, shape language, stuff like that, I would say it's a good starting point. Another book I'd probably suggest is the Animator's Survival Guide. It's a little more in depth, and it was done by the art director for Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's especially useful if you're trying to learn an animation or a character design format. But I know that also people can't always, a lot of people can't always find books. Let's be real, while books are great, I love them. I know that not everybody can have that privilege to afford books, especially if you're not sure you even want to continue. So let me look up some really great, so I again go to Mark Brunnett's channel. I will also link his stuff. I will also link his stuff here. He goes up, the channel is called YT Art School. He covers all these different fundamentals. He works on the fundamentals. He works on different techniques that you can use with digital art, which I feel like not a lot of art classes will take into account, especially if you want to do digital art. Because digital art.
Get back. I gotta go get food.
Go for it. Because digital art and traditional art, while very similar medias, are not very compatible in certain ways. It's not easier for me to draw. In fact, a lot of the time I prefer to draw traditionally. I have the materials to do so. I have a whole drawer of markers and another drawer for gouache and watercolor. But I also use those for very different purposes than I use my digital art. My digital art is usually for commissions, and also there for me trying to test out very easily what works and what doesn't. I can do the same thing with traditional art. The only real big difference that I've noticed is that, one, I kind of miss the texture of I kind of miss the texture of paper. I know that there are some digital art pads that do have a paper-like texture on their tablets. I find it a little weird. It's almost like eating like a vegan alternative to a hamburger. It'll taste okay, but there's just like something missing, and you can feel it when you taste it. Let's hear. Another thing about anatomy that you should learn is how proportion works. There's like a basic proportion to how things are. In fact, we talked a little bit about it before. Like we talked about the Dorito body, right? And that's how Bruce Timm like stylizes his character design. That these men have like the boldest of shoulders, and then like it has like these, and then it's got like these little tiny legs. But it still looks really powerful because most of your focus is going to be here. But those are the ways that proportion is exaggerated when you're doing an art style. When you're trying to just learn it, you need to learn the basics. You need to learn that a spine is not a single curve. It's two curves, and how many of that is going to function in terms of your 3D model. Another way to get started if you get frustrated with certain things is looking at 3D models. I don't normally would suggest this because they're already flat, they're already simplified, but I do find that 3D models, especially on Clip Studio Paint, there's even like little figurines that you can get that are more articulated, and you can actually move them around. And usually they're not super expensive. I think the most expensive I've seen them get is like $10. But that's just because it's like small. Most of them are kind of small. And sometimes you can get them like more articulated. I believe that that Ed, he actually has these models, and they are fully articulated with clothes or not clothes, but I think they have like weapons and whatnot, and they're a little more articulated, they're a little more proportional. If you can't afford that, because if I look it up right now, yeah, Artist Mannequin. Let's hear. Artist Mannequin, Art Mannequin figures. It's like $22. I see it at like 22, maybe $23. You can get them either gray or flesh tone. They also can come with like little things. They have like, you can give them like little props, and it's usually a lot easier to draw from that. I will say that some of the way that color goes through color or light goes through a person goes through a person, it's different than if you go through one of these models. Okay, so sometimes more than one line is needed. Yeah, many lines need to be needed. because I do a lot of sketching for my artwork. I try to keep my arm loose, because you don't really want to draw from your wrist. You want to draw from your arm, or from your shoulder, to keep it as loose as possible. But you also have to remember that this is a 3D person. Like, this is a human being, so it's not just like a flat person. In a drawing stage, it can help, especially when you're sketching. But you have to remember that this is still a 3D person, and you still have to put depth. So that's kind of how you learn anatomy. A lot of it is from taking reference. Again, I just gave a YouTube channel, which is YT Art School. It's really great. It's really fun. And usually they tend to not be very boring. The only thing that people tend to be really frustrated by is the fact that, you know, you're trying to get the anatomy right, and you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself to get it right to the letter. But, which I do think is important. You should learn, like, what the muscles are named, what the anatomy of an eye looks like, stuff like that. But the best way to learn those is, like, it is, again, looking at either live references or looking at medical books to see how those kind of, like, really mold the body. All right. So what do you want from the art style? It's not about the sketch. It's about what are the little things that you want to take out of this. Do you want to take the color? The way that colors are formed? Do you want to take how? It's easy just to be hard on oneself. Yeah. And when you are like that, it is really strict, which is why I do like having school for that, like not necessarily art school, but like a college class that's like in the local art department of your college. You don't necessarily need like a lot for your art college. Like, it's not necessarily like, oh, I need to take art school to make like money off of art. I didn't go to art school. I went to art classes, and I found that in-person classes were much more useful for me than online classes, because online classes were mandatory with COVID. So yeah. So, art style study. What do you want out of the art study is really important. And then let's hear. And then what do you want from the art style? And then references. So many references. Actually, let me make this a little darker. I need to make this darker so that it's more readable. References. So many references. Get all of your references. I remember with the Sailor Moon art study, I had to get like every single reference, and initially, unfortunately, you might trace. please don't trace if you're doing a commission. Please do not trace if you're doing, if you're trying to get started drawing. It's not good to just pull straight from the image that you're trying to get, right? There's a difference between referencing and tracing. Tracing is good for when you're not really sure how the anatomy of an art style works. So, for example, I think everybody at one point has traced around, like, Pokemon, right? And you're really good at, you might be really good now at drawing Pokemon because you traced over it for so long that you kind of got a muscle memory for it. Not to the point of overwhelming. It depends on what you categorize as overwhelming. Like, art references are really great, especially if you are not super familiar with the style, but you've seen it a lot. Or maybe this is a brand new style and you haven't really understood like how that works. I had that with Sailor Moon. I grew up with Sailor Moon. I didn't actually watch the show, but I saw it around so much that I was like, I identify certain things about this art style, and I know this art style enough to be like, okay, what are the parts of this that stick with me? And what are the parts that I don't really understand? So I did the same thing that I did with Sonic. If I can just find it real quick. I am trying to find the art study that I did for Sailor Moon. Here we go. Found it. Alright. Now I'm gonna open that. So I did this with Sailor Moon as well. With the... Oh, so sorry. I was typing to someone else. What was it you said about too many references as a whole? I think that I don't think that there's a difference between referencing and tracing. Referencing is understanding where the position of things go. Like where on the face should this go? Where in the why does the hair fall like this? Well, let me draw it and let me feel it out.
I returned.
Hello. You were gone for a while.
I had lunch, I said.
Oh. What did you have for lunch?
Chicken strips.
Nice. I have lumpia. Hello! It is the Zoa! It is Maximus Effort! And his bulging abs!
So many abs.
And they go boop, 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 boop.
Num 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 num.
I forgot I had food next to me. So it's cold now. So anyway, is that the goodest boy, Borg? Oh, Soa said that you were the goodest boy.
I'm the best boy.
Are you the goodest boy?
The bestest boy.
I'm gonna boot you
Bestest
now.
man.
You're the boy.
Man.
The boy. You
Just
are the
turned
boy.
21.
You are still the boy. Yours the baby.
You're a baby.
You the baby.
I'm not the baby.
You are the baby.
That's
okay.
an old meme.
The baby. Look at the boy. Come here, boy. How are you?
Welcome.
Anyway, so with the Sailor Moon art study, I took all of the references. I managed to find a Sailor Moon art book that was in Japanese that somebody had fan translated. And I don't know how accurate the text is. However, there is one part of the book where the creator of Sailor Moon writes in the margin that I think she says that Sailor Pluto has like the biggest ass.
Huh?
Like, that's an actual thing I found. I was like, oh, that is new. I didn't realize that there was gonna be that. But with Sailor Moon, when I was doing it, there was like a lot of, I would say I traced quite a bit initially. I tried not to.
Your data is gold to hackers. McAfee helps keep you safe with
Freaking ad.
I can add
Ad.
2 + 2 = 3.
Squishy.
It's 3 because if you turn the other 2 upside down and put them together, it looks like a 3.
Wow. You're smart. I'm gonna boop you now.
Yeah.
Boop.
Okay, I guess.
Boop. The series came from Japan after all. I don't think that makes a difference here.
Just because it's Japan doesn't mean everyone has big asses. That's America's thing.
So yeah, like with the Sailor Moon art study, I did have to reference a lot, and I did have to trace initially. But then after a certain period of time, I was like, okay, I think I have a better understanding of what this looks like. And I can say more confidently that I understand where the body proportions are. Like, they have hella legs. I want to point out, they have hella legs. Like they have tiny little waists, and then they have big legs. I did manage after a while to figure out how to do that, like with proportions, seeing how colors are formed. I don't feel like I've totally mastered that style because I didn't really develop the eye for it, but I got most of the kind of 90s art style down in a way. At least in a way that I can see that's recognizable as Sailor Moon, even if I didn't have a Sailor Scout uniform with it. But like, have as many references as you need, especially with an art style that you're not familiar with. What's another thing? Practice. I know this is gonna sound like I feel like a lot of people say like, oh, just practice. It'll get easier as you go. And I think that that's true. But I also think that you have to learn what you're trying to get out of it, right? This goes back to like, what do you want to get out of it? Do you want the proportions to be right about that particular art style, or are you trying to figure out like how the colors work and like what makes those colors pop? I think with the Hades art style that I did, hold on, let me get Let me get that out here. Here we go. Did I keep some of the references here? I did, but I definitely like took some. I had to minimize it, so let me get something else here. I guess I just didn't realize I was going to share this about. Here we go. All right. So, like this was the final kind of use of this art style that I did, which was Zoa and Haley Comet. And I had to look at their references, and I had to look at what made these art styles pop out versus what made this one pop out, and how to translate that. And first of all, it was cheekbones. A lot of cheekbones. So many cheekbones. Look at them cheekbones. Everybody has these cheekbones. They're so high. And also, they have like very similar shaped eyebrows. But it was a lot of like picking where those colors felt like. I think at the time I was trying to understand two things, which was shadow and stylizing. Because they use the shadows in such creative ways that is reminiscent of an old school comic book. A lot of it being Mike Mignola, the creator of Hellboy. And then kind of making sure that it's not all perfect, because sometimes I feel like I make it a little too polished, or the lines are a little too complete in certain areas. I still feel like I did that with this too, but I feel like this is more successful as me replicating this style and knowing, hey, this is probably how these characters would have been portrayed. Although I think that they would have less cross-hatching than this. Though, go-to advice, it helps to start out, but it's important to get the little push, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Let's see, sorry, I was just responding to a message. Also, everybody seems to have the same damn lipstick. They either have no... especially if they're like a brighter colored character, this is the lipstick that they have. Or they just have no lipstick. Anyway, at least from my memory, I need to play Hades again. I'd love to play Hades again. Let's see.
Oh, you finally finished Hades?
No, I did not.
Oh.
I said I'd love to play Hades again. But yeah, like seeing how the characters move, like different hand shapes, making sure that this line is much thicker so that it reads that they are part of the same body, but they're not part of the same plane. You know, stuff like that. And I think that learning Terminator lines was a really big thing. I didn't think I was going to learn about that, but I actually really like it, and I hope I get to use it more in my art in the future. So yeah. So practice. With the art study, I would say, depending on how familiar or how well you think you've gotten it done, because I practice a lot off screen. Like a lot of the work that I do on stream, it doesn't actually show up on stream. It actually shows up like in the background. I usually sketch and doodle quite a bit. But practicing the way hands move, the way faces scrunch up at certain expressions. Those are really important. And I think that in order to get those, a lot of it is looking at a mirror and like looking at your face as you do it, which I think has developed into the habit of doing it as I'm drawing the character, because then I know what my face looks like when it's like disgusted, or when it's glaring, or when it's angry. I have my mom used to like always look over at me and go like, "Hey, honey, are you okay?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And she wouldn't see what I was drawing, and she would just go like, you seem angry. And I'm like, "No, I'm just focused." And I see my art piece, and it's like this very angry expression. I'm like, "Oh." Like sometimes you just make faces as you go. It's very funny. Let's see here. Oh, that reminds me. I got to do the event thingy. Event. Start. Play. There we go. Let's see here. But yeah, the if I had to say like how long it is, depending on how much you're practicing, or even like how much you want to get this art study done at once, because you gotta remember, sometimes your art study isn't going to be the only thing you work on. I'd say like a month. Like a month of art style study is pretty good. And just remember, it's not continuous. I do have to go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. Play. I'm gonna tell chat something cool. So chat, taking the stand here for a little bit. While I would try to pay a little more attention, I also cannot draw. But what I do have news is something else that Crimson's gonna be doing that I am enlisting her help in. A bit of self-promotion, if you will. Later tonight, I'm debating whether or not I'll stream it and record it, or just record it. I will be introducing Crimson to the world of BioShock, and be posting it on my channel at a later date. Have fun with that. She has not played the game at all, only seen bits and pieces, such as the Big Daddies and such. But I've installed mods to make it look like it's almost a more recent game. Very good mods. And so I'm debating to see which mods I should. So commitment, you think she'll up to it? In the case of this, yes, as she agreed later tonight to do it, all she has to do is co-commentate. She's not playing it. She's my co-commentator on this mark. But just seeing her reactions to the amount of shit that's gonna go on, and the amount of like stuff that's gonna happen, I think she'll like it. Trust. You think she'll be up? I mean, she already agreed to be my new co-commentator, and she like said she'd do it later tonight after I get back from work. So she said she's up for it. If she wasn't, she wouldn't tell me she was up for it. It's not how it works. So right now I'm just testing to see the mods still work. Because whatever style she'll like more, I'll figure out which one I'll decide to do more in the game. I prefer quality in the best of when it comes to uploading stuff. And if there's mods that make the quality better, I'll do it. am the good guy Bork at it again. I'm debating whether or not to stream and record it. One, because if I record it, I can edit it and make it in the Let's Play thing format. But if I stream it, I also people get to see the unedited bits. Hello, Crimson. No, I was telling him about the plan. The plan. The BioShock. You're gonna love. Right now I'm testing a new feature. I've never done this before. There's some really good fucking quality mods. And they're basically cinematic things. Basically they're upping the graphics to more recent games. And I'm testing which one makes it look the best. And I'll probably have your input on it later, like a minute or 5 before recording. But it's gonna be really awesome. So much blobber. My only debate is whether or not I should both record and stream it, or just record it. Because if I just record it, I'll have to edit it, and the people won't know things that didn't happen, or at least the boring bits. If I record and stream it, I can do that, and stream both the boring and the normal bits to the peoples. I have a Patreon. Deal. That's true. And YouTube just saves your streams forever. Good point, Crimson. You're a smart lady. Tell me. I have a question. What is the meaning of life? What if I do get arrested? Damn. Oh, excuse me. I can't think for myself. I don't have a brain. I don't like when people make me have to think. No. Oh. Bullying me now. That's even worse. Don't pick your lip. Picking your lip is bad. Well, that's how scabs happen. Don't you numb at me when I'm trying to teach you a lesson. Go to your room. Well, go to jail 10,000 years. Let's see. This. What if I don't like anything? But what if I am fun? What if I don't value your opinion? What if I think you smell? No, I said you smell. I don't smell. Because I can't smell anything. That's semantics. Ugh, my knee's itchy. Your mic's good. You're good for me. Remember, people, don't look at porn. It's bad for you.
My mic was off.
Crimson, did you ever figure out Ed's favorite movie?
He said. Sorry. I realized I turned my mic off for the stream, but not for you. That's why it was doing that.
Okay.
So let me. Do you mind if I backtrack a little bit?
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry. So, what I said was that, and I might be jumbling my words a little bit. Make sure you pick what you like. You want to pick art styles that are good for you. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be good for everyone. And making sure that you're interested in the item. Yeah. Because thanks for letting me know. I totally forgot for a while. I'm so sorry. Truly tired. You're picking an art style that you like. Sometimes it sounds really simple. And sometimes it kind of makes you appreciate the medium a bit more. Like, say, I mentioned Bruce Timm earlier. Bruce Timm Bruce Timm has this art style that I really admire, in that it's simplified, but I do enjoy kind of the more detailed stuff that he does, with specifically the way that the composition is and the way that he draws women. And despite the fact that they all have the same body type. Except for in Cape Crusaders. I guess I can't say that anymore because it's Cape Crusaders. Also, life is the meaning of life. I answered that a little bit ago. The meaning of life is making the most out of everything and not getting arrested. And if you did get arrested, then I'm sorry for your life choices. Or I'm sorry for the unfortunate circumstances you were dealt with. But I hope that the most is made out of it. Let's see here. But yeah, picking something that you like. For me, I liked the Sonic fandom. I did not like the art style. So when initially doing it, it was really hard for me to kind of translate that and see what those shapes looked like when they were in movement. And then the IDW comics came in, and I was like, okay, let me give this another try. Sailor Moon was a little similar. I tried an art study before. It was almost entirely tracing. And I felt like I didn't learn much. So I finally got the art book. I looked it over. I started referencing a lot more. I started to see how I started to watch the show a little bit and go okay, so this is how people move. This is how people. This is how the manga is, and this is how the artist draws these characters and like paints these characters. But this is how the anime does it too. Like, and mixing up the three is really interesting when you like break it down. So I was asking, does anybody else have like any? Does anybody have the tips of their own that they want to share, or like, are there any questions that you have so far that maybe you don't like? Maybe you don't understand, or maybe you have a question about something you do. These macarons are good.
I'm gonna.
Do you have any questions, Porky?
What's Ed's favorite movie?
It depends. To backtrack just a little, how do you draw magical girls? So it's not necessarily hard if you're trying to make like an original magical girl. It gets specific when you ask like which type of magical girl, because there's a lot. And magical girls actually have like a really long history. Like for example, Sailor Moon has a very different art style than like Cardcaptor Sakura, or like you are not going to have the same art style in Madoka Magica as you are in Gushing Over Magical Girls. Princess Utena versus Tokyo Mew Mew, etc., etc. Magical Girl Apocalypse versus oh god, Little Witch Academia, which is considered a magical girl series. But if we're talking about just how do you draw magical girls as like a concept, I would say that, at least in my opinion, this is what I've noticed. There are a few things that come in mind when you're doing magical girls, okay? I'm gonna really quick just write this down. And technically speaking, I would like to point out, you can actually do a very similar thing with Super Sentai. So I'll also put like Super Sentai in here as well. Super Sentai, Kamen Rider. One, pick a primary color. And by primary color, I don't mean like in the color wheel. I'm mostly talking about pick a color as the dominant color. Let's write that down as dominant color. And then pick a theme. Sometimes it can be planets. It can be a fight style. It can be an animal. It can be all kinds of different things. But you just have to kind of form a theme around it. And then that's your dominant color, a theme. Also making the uniform. The uniform will kind of come around with the theme. It'll help educate what type of theme you're going for. And then like, also it kind of depends on what type of magical girl, because then there are magical girls like, oh god, what is her name? Shoot, I am forgetting her name right now. Creamy Mommy. Who is supposed to be like a little girl, and then she transforms and she becomes like a pop idol. It depends on the type of theme you want to go with. It depends on what type of thing you consider a uniform, or at least like what themes of clothes they have. Because sometimes it's not going to be the same for every magical girl. Sometimes it's heavily dependent on their personality as well. So, in one of my favorite ones, which I can't suggest to people because you need to be in the know to know about this show. It's called Gushing Over Magical Girls. I have talked about this before. It's a trip. It's a trip. Let me post it here. Like, all three of these are magical girls, but you can definitely tell who is a villain and who is the heroes. And they have like a little uniform. Their clothes may not always be, their hairstyles might not be the same, or their body types aren't the same. But you can definitely tell by how fantastical they look, or how exaggerated their proportions for hair are, that they're magical girls. Sometimes it's also a weapon. They're kind of like, magical girls are kind of like Pokemon like that. To stand out above the crowd, even if I gotta shout out loud.
I'd hang out with Max Goof. He's cool.
Yeah, some people's weapon is magical, like it's just straight up magic or shrine girl type things. And sometimes it's like a straight up fist. Like it'll be a boxing glove and you're just sitting there going like, yeah! I guess also finding out whether or not it's good or evil. There's a lot of like evil, Usagi art for Sailor Moon. And so you have to like look at it and go like, oh, okay, so this is kind of how we're going about it. I kind of want to go back to my Draw Like an Artist book, specifically the 100 Lessons to Create Anime Manga Characters. This was a collab with ABD Illustrates. I want to point out this is not a sponsored stream at all. This is just a really good book. I wouldn't say it's for beginners, but I would say that it is a nice overview of what you would like. It's not like a tutorial on how to do everything or to look at the exercises, but there's a great picture in here, and I think it has a tutorial Yeah, there it is. It's on page 62, and it's where he does like a little magical girl, and then he does an evil villain. Matt, like it's very like Queen Beryl inspired, and then the other one feels very Cardcaptor Sakura. But yeah, like there's many different avenues. These are usually the ongoing themes that come in. Super Sentai, very similar. Usually Super Sentai tend to be a little more uniform. Like you stick with one team, with like one thing, and then you like make the rest of them a different color. And then any of the personalities and weapons kind of comes from visual cues and mask acting. But very similar concept. But that was a really good idea, a good question idea maker. This is I know that's for the prompt that you were talking about, but I'm glad that you found this prompt and it's giving you ideas to like how to kind of work off of it. Another really great YouTuber for magical girl stuff is, they go by Ginja Ninja Owu on YouTube. Their tag is actually Ray, and they are super fun. They go by he they, or they them, but they have like such great art concepts, and they're so funny, and they've been working on this prism magical girl concept forever. Like when I tell you forever, I mean like this shit has started since like 5 years ago. And then it kind of developed from there. They took a break from it for a while, but they kind of got back to it as like a legitimate series for a while. And they have a really useful playlist for everything new that's happening with their canon, and then everything old that was happening with their canon. So that was fun. That's fun. So I just posted their YouTube channel. Super fun, super great. Sorry, nose still stuffy. So yeah, does anybody else have like any questions, or like are there concepts that maybe got lost?
Head empty.
Yay. Let's hear. I wish I could come up with some more interesting advice. I feel like my advice isn't super. I feel like it's not super inventive. It's really just like this is what I do. These are concepts I play with, and I have looked at other people's work. I have definitely looked at other people's work. Hell, I infamously did the Hades art style, right? And somebody had made an arts tutorial about it. It was by Tom O'Clock, and in that he broke down several parts of that art style, as well as saying like, hey, these are the parts of this art style that work, here's the parts that don't, and here's how like you can emulate that, which is how I got the term Terminator line, which I didn't really know was a thing. Another thing I really enjoy is Droppy. Droppy does all these different art challenges and D&D style videos as well, called Drotectives, and they explain their process really well, even though they're looking at like a various different even though they're looking at various different prompts or like speed draws, for the most part, they explain themselves really well, and I really enjoy that. Let's hear. Month's almost over, which is why I'm leaning towards a cartoon rather than anime vibe. Yeah, cartoons and anime, I feel like they get extrapolated together a lot. To be fair, I feel like when people talk about anime versus cartoons, they think about, well, one, they think about Disney, and two, they think about like how varied the art style of American animation is versus anime, which very marketable, but a lot of people will think like, oh, big anime eyes, they have like a very exaggerated expressions and whatnot, but then you realize, no, like anime has a lot of variety in it, and it's very different from person to person. Like, again, I'll show up like a few examples here. I'm just kind of abusing this poster right now. So going back to gushing over magical girls, or I admire and magical girls, and then this anime very, I feel like this is what people usually think of when they think of anime. It's very cutesy, got like a weird sexual undertone to it, but like it's got it.
Yeah, wait, Crimson.
What did I do?
I recognize that anime.
And I've showed it at least like 3 times.
Crimson.
What?
It's a perv anime.
And?
I'm going to allow this, just this once.
This is my stream. You don't allow shit. You have no power here.
Wait.
You have no power here, you little bitch.
I'm surrounded by power.
Like you have this art style, right? And I feel like this is very much.
It is good art style, though.
Yeah, this is the art style usually people think of when they think of anime. And then, but like then people are like, oh, like, but this is what anime looks like, right? This is this art style specifically and nothing else. And then you're like, no, there is a variety if you just look around at more than just shonen. But like it comes in a very large variety. There are different shapes, different colors, and a lot of people who aren't artists, I feel like, or at least that don't enjoy anime, they're either anime haters or they just don't understand anime and don't want to understand anime.
That's my stepfather.
They kind of just lump it as all one art style because there's a lot of similar appearances with them, and I feel like it takes away a lot of the nuance of different character designs and different ways people draw art. Like for example, Detective Conan is a very different art style from like Studio Ghibli, but a lot of people will just kind of lump them together because they're similar enough that to an untrained eye it looks very close. It's not, but it's close enough.
Would have never figured that out if not for Bork. I'm such a helpful lad.
Oh god.
You okay?
Oh god, I swallowed like a huge thing and then I tried to spit it out, but I missed the tissue.
Mushy mushy.
That's what she said.
Hello. I'm proud of you. You were degenerate. Join
What
us.
has happened?
Join us. Join us.
what has happened?
I'm not a degenerate.
He thinks he's not a degenerate, but he made a degenerate joke.
That's what you said.
You set it up.
Nuh-uh.
You
saw it
and you took the
opportunity.
But you follow through. That's what being an accessory is.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's ad time.
Ad time.
Ad time. The bad time. Go IKEA. Ugh.
And now you can get a little bigger. Just a little.
Just a little.
See? A little. You're a little
I bet
baby
I'll
baboos.
I'll be even bigger.
No.
Why not?
How you doing, Moth?
He muted himself.
No.
So what is Ed's favorite movie?
It depends.
But I have the date thingamabob here.
It depends.
Well, I remember yours. I forget what yours was.
And that's on you.
Yeah, I guess it is. To the window, to the wall,
To the sweat drop down my balls. Oh, these females crawl.
There's a different thing for it. I'm trying to remember what it's from. Where is it? Here it is.
What did you do?
I put a thing in the thingamabob. It's like 8 seconds.
Num num. Num num. Num 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 num. Num 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 num. I wonder where this is from. It's really good art. Like it, I assume this is a edit of a screenshot. I just don't know which screenshot it is.
Oh, that's nice.
Right? Like I'm not even like pressing about the couple at all. I'm just kind of like, no, that's pretty sick. What edit is this? Where did you get this?
From what?
Oh, the picture I just showed.
Oh, my own Twitter. Oh yeah.
It is the Emperor Moth. What are you doing? How are you doing? I squish your booty. I squish.
Wait, wait, what?
I squish.
I was about to say I was just going to be emperoring. Yeah.
Emperoring, making the decisions.
I'm looking at it.
Actually, I think emperor moth is just a species of moth.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me know. I have to now look it up.
Actually, no, I'm pretty sure it is. I already said the origin of like how I chose the name Emperor Moth. If you would like to know the origin of it, you could, I don't know, look through the Twitch VODs. I don't know if there is a VOD for that specific stream or not.
I don't know.
Well, if you didn't see it, you're screwed. I don't know. Maybe like in 6 months I'll say it again because I forgot.
Yeah, I can't find out where this image is from, Crimson. Wait a minute.
Do you recognize it? Also, I found the Emperor Moth. Look at how pretty it is!
Crimson, I think it might be AI.
You think it's AI?
Maybe.
I don't think
not
it's AI.
possible anymore.
Because I can clearly see where the hands are. Like it actually formulates the hands. I just don't know where. I don't know. My thing is like wondering where, like what the edit is here. Like where's the edit?
Trying to figure it out. Because
I know that this is two images taken from somewhere else,
and then they edited the lighting on Amy to make her look like she's here.
Using an image search platform. 1 second.
Yay! I poop.
If I can get
People
Google to work.
People seem to be like seem to know how to Google image search, but like I can't seem to like.
It's complicated.
It's not that complicated. Why you gotta go and make things so complicated?
Shame on me.
I'm trying to get to the exact matches page. All I can find is just some. Come on. Okay, I only found one result.
Okay.
It will load. The artist is Towart.
Isn't that like?
Isn't that like what?
Didn't it? Then who's the person who posted it on Twitch or not Twitch on X?
The person who posted it on X or Twitch. If you call it X, they win.
Whatever. They can win. They can have their
never mind.
pile of.
It's a profile picture for some guy named Mundo del Shademi. That's it. That's the only result.
Are they like? I don't think that's the original.
I looked it up all over Google. It only gave me this one result for a Facebook profile.
But whatever. The artist has lots of time.
But it's a good edit. I can definitely tell that this is from like two separate games. Anyway, we are doing an art style Q&A. So how do I process my art studies?
Alright.
Do you have any questions?
So when he was doing the art style, like, was it an art style of?
Like an art style
It was like
study.
a study of like
Art styles.
Have you chosen one?
No, this is just a Q&A.
Okay. Art styles.
Let me rephrase.
Like, I have a question. I don't know if you want to hear it.
Go for it.
Uh,
Have you considered using Disco Elysium as a art study?
I don't know what it looks like.
Yeah, you know what it looks like.
I do not.
I could.
You've shown
Well,
me
you don't.
no visual cues. You have only shown me fan fiction.
No, I've shown you like some pictures.
No, not really. Like at all.
Okay. No biggie.
I am looking at it right now, and it's very painterly.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's not really what I'm asking, or like that's not the questions I'm looking for.
Right.
The questions are about the process in which I do the art studies. Not like, which art study should I do?
Gotcha. In terms of that, have you doing the art studies like you choose specific characters and stuff? Like, do you choose things based on like a certain like dynamic pose or when you like approach the study?
For me, I usually it's like I see an art study, I like that art study. I want to break down that art study. I want to see what that looks like and how I can implement it in my normal art. And sometimes it's based off vibes. Like sometimes I'll look at something and I'll be like, want to draw it. But I think that when I pick like other characters to put in that art style, so like for example, when I did Castlevania, right?
Uh-huh.
When I did specifically the anime, when I did Castlevania, I picked. I was doing Hades, and I picked Drolta because there were no Afro textures really in Hades, and I wanted to see what that looked like. So I picked Drolta. I made a general guess of what that would look like, which is a better example of like using what you've learned from the art style study that you did and then implementing onto a different character, because now you have to guess, and it's not, and that way when you guess, it's not necessarily like, oh, I'm doing this without thought. It's, I'm doing this with thought and purpose, and now I have to like pretend if I was this artist, how would I implement this style onto this character?
I think in terms of the Afro textures, I think the closest in Hades, the closest character to like having like Afro textures could be like Eurydice.
Yeah,
like,
but like
vaguely.
It's also a tree.
Granted, but
I did use her as a reference for what those Afro textures would look like, but because it's still a tree,
you have to make it not a tree.
I have to make it not a tree. I have to be creative about the shape and see, and the hair is longer, so I have to make judgment calls on how the color will look in for this character versus say if I was doing like Dionysus, who has a very similar, I would say very similar color scheme, or at least like a comparable color scheme.
Yeah. Yeah, like Dionysus actually, he has like he has some curls to his hair, but it's not quite, but his hair isn't quite like, it doesn't have as many kinks as would be needed.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm gonna go take a nap before work, so I'll see you later tonight.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I had a big like St. Patrick's Day like dinner last night, and somehow I lost weight.
Oh shit.
It always seems to happen. I always seem to surprise people. That's excellent.
Well, I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It is. I wonder
still
if
love
it's
the
like
little emote thing that comes out of this when you talk. And like the thing does like a little head tilt, and it's like, "Hello, audience."
Yeah, just I'm just like speaking. Not necessarily to you, audience, but I've spoken.
It's so cute.
Nah, I really love how it came together. Now I just have to figure out what to do with the money in my PayPal. Like a terrible idea. Maybe I should commission another art. And then I accidentally withdraw even more money.
You're right. It's just your nest egg now. You just put a little more money in it every so often. You never touch it. Just put it right there.
It's not a terrible idea, but I'm not sure if I should have it on PayPal.
I don't think
probably have it.
Probably not on PayPal, but
it,
just like a different like put in, not a trust fund. I think that.
I don't think $100 constitutes a trust fund.
No, but like you can add money into the trust fund.
Right.
Over time, and it accumulates wealth.
$20. What a peanut. $20 could buy lots of peanuts. Explain how. Money can be exchanged for goods and services.
They really do be like that, though.
I am missing a knight. I've misplaced a knight. I need to find out where he went.
Let's see. I think another thing with art style studies that I've done, like obviously I still need to work on my own fundamentals. I always feel like my arms are a little off, or like I stick with one body type a little too hard. But I feel like the art studies do help with that, in that it depends on what details I add and what things I don't. I think that also art-wise, right? Like, let's bring in Disco Elysium into this. I'm looking at the art and going, like, this is a very painterly style. It's very acrylic, blocky. Actually, oil paint. I think this is more oil paint.
Yeah, I can see that.
But a lot of that comes from... It's not actually coming from the game itself. Some of the game has these little moments, but they're not like necessarily... They're not necessarily like part of the gameplay. Usually it's only for story elements that it looks like they have like the more painterly look to it.
I think like it's just to like but like I think the thing with like the look of it is just that it's made to like fit into the art style when it comes up.
Yeah. So
it would be like the actual models of the people are just like they're really rough when you like really zoom in, but it's meant to be looked from like a top down, so it's not a huge
exactly. Deal. Let's see here. So when it comes to like, so I basically what I do with that is I'll look at that and I'll try to copy the character, right? Maybe not trace. I feel like at this point I've done a lot more like reference art than tracing art to like get the feeling of the characters. I feel like I've gotten to a point now where I'm like, okay, I don't necessarily need to trace all the time. But if it's like a really difficult character design, or I can't quite get like certain parts of a nose correct, or like I can't seem to get like how this works, I'll like trace it a few times and then I'll reference what I did wrong in the traces versus what I did versus what they are actually doing. I did that a lot with the Sailor Moon art study when I was doing it. Because it's such... You think, like, initially that you remember what it looks like for Sailor Moon, and then you, like, write it down, or, like, you draw it, and it looks kind of like that one episode of My Little Pony, where there's, like, where Fluttershy is trying to scare her friends. And
I do not recall that one.
Oh my god,
sure
it's so funny.
The audience does.
It's so funny. Like, so Fluttershy tries to scare her friends, and she pulls out like these anime drawings, and it happens for like a few seconds, so you probably don't register it immediately. But
it looks wrong.
No, it doesn't look wrong. It's just anime characters. In like the most early 2000s way of drawing anime characters. So like when you like draw anime characters for the first time, here, this is what it looks like. I'm gonna post it on the screen. Like, this is how most people see anime, like in their head. Oh yeah, I can. Okay, so we have Sailor Moon, we have Evangelion. Not sure about the middle two. Maybe that's Revolutionary Girl, Utena.
Yeah. And then the last one is Ranma 1/2.
And then the one in the very, very back, that's Bulma.
Okay.
That's Bulma from initial Dragon Ball Z. Or Dragon Ball. I mean, Dragon Ball. So that's what usually people think automatically, and like that's 100% how I drew Usagi.
It's a really like
initially.
The really shiny eyes.
Like it's like the really shiny eyes, the really pointed expressions, the exaggerated eye shape on the face, and then you have to like look at. And then I got an actual reference, and I'm like, okay, it's not nearly as exaggerated as I thought it was. Those are just the parts I remember. Like, big eyes, little mouth. And that's not at all what it looks like. Like, it's a little bit of what it
Yeah.
looks like, but that's not what it looks like.
Yeah, not all the time at least.
Not all the time.
And also, like, an interesting thing is that our anime art styles have changed like so much
Oh, yeah.
over like the 20 years.
We were just talking about it too. Like, I think that a lot of people, like, because they think that we were talking about it, and I was gushing over Magical Girls versus like DBZ, Demon Slayer, Sailor Moon, and you're just like, oh, these are entirely different art styles and entirely different appearances.
It doesn't help that each like studio has its own art style, or like animators have their own art style.
Right.
But like I wonder like if someone's analyzed like the trend of like where it's gone.
I'm sure there is. I know that kind of like in American animation, in anime, there's a lot of times where different characters or different people are inspired by one another to look like something. So, for example, like Disney in the early 2000s was really popular, and in the 90s during the Renaissance, so a lot of people tried to look like that. With like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the reason why the art style changes is because initially the art was heavily influenced by Fist of the North Star, which was super popular at the time, and then etc. etc. etc.
Also, I found this on Reddit, which is kind of like the progression. There's also a translation.
This is a very simplified version of it, but I do.
Yeah, sure, but like.
But yeah.
But it is like on a decade scale.
Yeah.
This all seems to fit.
Oh dear Lord.
Sorry.
There's so much Japanese.
Yeah. That all had to be translated.
Right. The fluffy, voluminous hair, bushy ends of the hair. Yeah.
If you, the audience, would like to see this picture that I referenced, you could join the Discord, Patreon, go forever.
Wee! You're just like, you're so done. You're just like, fuck it.
I've only gone through half of my breakfast, which also consists of a Kit Kat bar.
That is a
big
healthy
cat bar,
breakfast.
actually.
That's a healthy breakfast. I don't care who says. Don't
I'm
tell
also having,
Joe
sausage
I
egg
said that.
McMuffin. But what? He doesn't like Kit Kats?
No, I said that Kit Kats are part of a healthy breakfast.
Well, I mean,
Me. But yeah, like when it comes to art style changes, like those are going to happen over time, and there are going to be certain trends that show up, but it's still important to remember, like there's a bit of generic side that you're doing when you like go, hey, this is what this character looks like in this art style. Like I remember at one point hold on. I remember at one point, like, a lot of people were going like, oh, this is the 90s art style. And I look at it, it's Sailor Moon, and I'm like, not everybody looked like that. There were some girl shows that looked like that, but it wasn't like that, like, in every show.
like the shoujo art style?
Like, it's just the show, it's not even just shoujo art style. It just got really popular for a period of time. I would say that they look a lot more like that 90s art style that you got going on right there in the example. But like, how about the clamp art style? That is not what the questions are. Also clamp is not hello, Deep Birch, welcome to the stream. The stream topic of today is asking about the process in which how you conduct an art style, or at least how I conduct art style studies. It's really important to to kind of look at art style and go like, hey, like how do I emulate that, or what are some things that I can take from this that I can put in my own art that is somewhat organic after practice. I actually, now that we're talking about it, there's a quote from Harry Gold during a different stream. Hold on. Let's hear. Okay, it was on a Mary Kuhn stream, and Harry Gold was there as a guest. And it's basically like seeing like which art style is your normal art style and which one is a fake one that you don't normally do. And in this particular case, he was talking about like, oh, if you focus too much on the art style, you lose the art. Which basically just means that when you focus too much on how you're drawing something, you're losing the item that you're trying to draw, and you're not like actually drawing the item. You're too focused on the art style itself to like actually focus on what the piece looks like or how this piece looks like in your head. All you're thinking of is, how would Miyazaki draw this apple? But then how would I implement that Hades art style study that I had several years ago? Like, how do I implement it? It really, all it is you putting in the work and going like, okay, what are the parts that I know are important to me, and which parts are the parts that I'm going to naturally accumulate over time? Because at some point, you just don't think about it. You just don't think about the art. As far as the Clamp art style, Clamp, for those of you who don't know, Clamp is an anime studio. Is an anime studio that had like that was predominantly female oriented. It was female driven, and it would come up with things like Cardcaptor Sakura, or I think they also did not, what was it, Chobits. They did Chobits. And I do love the extra detail that they put in, and like I feel like it was so influential at the time. I think that Clamp has changed for a while. The most recent thing I ever saw Clamp do was this thing called Grim something. It was Grim something, and it was like a retellings of Grimm tales in a variety of different styles, and they showed different art styles. But let's use Clamp as an example real quick for how I would probably break something like that down. First of all, I'd have to look at, hey, what makes the art style? Usually it's this watercolor look. You got that big eye thing going on again. Like, let's look at this, but then let's look at that versus Cardcaptor Sakura. Both are different projects. And they have very different feelings, obviously. But there are like recurring themes, like how they use the negative space, how they use color, how they use watercolor being more dramatic or softer, how they use color. I'm also almost 100% sure these two are siblings, but I'm not sure. I don't want to dwell on that.
It's just a minefield.
Right. I don't want to go into that. So like I'd probably break down like how they clump the hair in like its basic shapes, and then use like different brushes to try to emulate that in digital. But I'd probably also try to play with this in like a traditional style, so like watercolor, marker, maybe using some colored pencils for certain parts too. But I do enjoy it. I do enjoy this art style, and I think that it has like a very wide appeal. So yeah, I definitely would. It would also depend on like whether it's a mature audience or not. Art style wise, I think if you want to like review everything real quick that I've talked about, first of all, learn the fundamentals. You want anatomy, perspective, form, value, light and shadow, color and composition. You want all of these under your belt before you start thinking of like, how do I emulate this art style? Because otherwise you don't perform to your specifications, you perform at other people's specifications. And the second thing is, after that, you look at an art style that I assume you like, and say, what do I want to get out of it? What part of my art style do I want that this art style has? And then you focus on that as a medium. Use a lot of references, and you practice for about a month. It doesn't have to be a continuous month, but it has to be. But I would say you have to get like a good period of time going on. Also, try to get an hour and a half in a day for your art study, or at least take like do it for an hour and a half a day. Walk away from it for a few hours, and then come back to it. Because when you do that, I promise you, it'll like change your perspective on what you're drawing. Because looking at it with fresh eyes is better than looking at it with eyes that have worked on this thing forever, and so nothing looks right. Or like it looks right to you, but then as soon as you leave, you wonder why you spent like 5 hours doing this. We also covered, like, this was something that Idea Maker actually brought in, which is that, like, what makes a magical girl a magical girl. And I point out that magical girls and Super Sentais kind of have very similar ideas to them.
Like ideas of primary color scheme, like a team of heroes.
Yeah, like usually when people are asking like, oh, how do you make a magical girl or a Super Sentai? Usually you're breaking it down as pick a dominant color, pick a theme for the overall group, pick a uniform for the overall group. It doesn't necessarily have to be the same uniform, but a lot of the times it helps. See, and this is where I think it differs a little more, because I feel like with Super Sentai, you don't really get a personality out of them. That comes from like the character acting and the mask acting. Whereas magical girls kind of have more of their personality designed into their look. And this also can come in the form of a weapon of some kind, and also just recognizing whether or not this is a good character or an evil character. But yeah, like this is kind of like how I broke down like magical girls and Super Sentais as like just a general trope. And also like just in case other people want to know, how do you do anatomy? You look at people, you look at references, you look at proportions. There are model kits that you can get. Like you have actual they actually have like little articulated models that you can get, either simplified or a little more like detailed. And usually they're at max. I've seen them for about $20, give or take $5. And also to understand like how muscles move or how muscles look under the skin. Medical books. So many medical books. But yeah. Sorry. I still have like a bit of allergies kind of coming into it.
Like pollen or?
I don't know. Like I just suddenly got like really, really heavy, like throat, like a sore throat for a second. Like my face felt just really heavy. My eyes started to hurt a lot. And then like I got really stuffy just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So I think like just the allergies hit really hard in the evening and they haven't really stopped. They gotten better, but I need to drink some more water and hydrate more.
It was fine. When I was about to leave California for Michigan, I went to visit like my uncle, who was to hang out, like say goodbye. But him and his family, they were fostering some kittens at the time. And like I was fine. Like I went to their house before when they were doing the same thing. Like, and I was fine. But like that day I went, I was just like really stuffy, sniffling, like tearing up. Because like I am allergic to cats, but like only some cats. Not that like it comes and goes. Like I'm not allergic to like my great uncle's cat. But like I was allergic to like whatever's going on in like with these kittens. I was like, I don't know if you've seen like Smiling Friends, but I kind of looked like when Charlie was like just like sweating and like looked sick after like drinking like a potion.
Right.
That's and I showed the picture. I showed like the video too to like to just like what's it called, communicate just where I was.
Right. I'm so sorry that happened.
No,
your external hard drive came in. That's great. Sorry. I was just looking at chat. So let's hear. Does anybody else have any other thoughts or questions about like different, like at least how this is how I process art style studies. Not everybody needs to do them. I do think everybody needs to learn the fundamentals before they start like doing an art style study. Because I feel like until you've really like understood how certain fundamentals are used traditionally, then you can start like breaking the rules a little bit. Because you gotta kind of find the rules to like break them. If that makes sense.
Let's see.
Now, how to abide by them, but also how to break them. Because I feel like a lot of people, when they think, oh, you have to, I shouldn't learn the rules of fundamentals or composition or whatever, right? Because that'll interrupt my natural art style. I'm like, no, it won't. It'll improve it. because I can guarantee you, you're missing some shit. Like, you might be able to draw a character really nice, like a single character in a blank background, but I can guarantee you, you do not know how to draw them at every single angle. With buildings, with perspective, with people in the background, and everything else. Sorry, I have food in my mouth. Does that also include... Sorry, go ahead.
Don't eat with your mouth full.
Does that include the use of 3D puppet models? I like Clip Studio Paint for including the models. I think my only problem with this, and this is personal to me, one, I think that the anatomy can get a little jank when you move things around. And two, if you become too reliant on the model of the puppet, you're not actually learning anatomy, you're just learning how to move a puppet. And sometimes you can break the rules for a puppet, and not in the same way you can break the rules for a live model. Because I feel like with the live model, you can see a little better as to why certain joints do not move that way. But if you don't have any other option, 3D models on Clip Studio Paint are really good. My personal suggestion with them is, like I've been saying, use them as a reference. Don't necessarily use them as like the end-all be-all. And also look at a lot of references for like people. Like if you're doing like say a throw, like a mid-throw, the CSP models might do the job, but it's not going to give you the same like movement that seeing somebody throw a ball at like 90 miles an hour will do. But yeah. As far as what art study I'll do next month, I feel like the art study I did with Breath of the Wild was really quick. Like, I only did it for like 3 streams, but I did a lot of drawing on the side as well, so I couldn't like dedicate it.
I feel like you showed a lot of improvement with it.
Yeah, I feel like because I know what I'm doing a little better, I can pick up the art style a little quicker, but I still feel like it's not necessarily mastering. I'm just like looking at the subject now and going like, okay, how does it fit here? How does it not fit here? Like, I feel like I didn't do enough in rendering the Lucario, even though I think it's sick art. It looks like it should belong on, like, I'm trying not to toot my own horn here. It looks like Pokemon card art, which I was like looking at that going like, I'm so proud of myself. It looks like Pokemon art. Like, this looks official and shit.
Oh yeah.
This looks like it should be on like a GX card.
Belongs in a museum.
Exactly. Wait, what? What'd you say?
I said it belongs in a museum.
Yeah. Sorry, I was like, I thought you said Disco Elysium for a second. I was like, damn it! Damn it, did I just agree to doing a Disco Elysium art style?
Have you?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
Oh, you don't like the painterly look of things?
I like it. I feel like I wish I kind of want to do that on a traditional canvas rather than a digital one.
That's fair.
And while I could stream, I could stream that, I feel like that is going to be a mess that I will never clean up. And that's on me.
That'd be something as like as like a very far off goal. Like, get up to this level, and like I will hand paint a Disco Elysium thing on stream.
Oh, you want me to make that like a goal? I think that I have a. I think I could do a challenge. I think they have challenges on here. Give me a second. Sorry, my nose is getting stuffy again.
Right.
Let's hear. I have a PNG model thing, and it's 5,000. I can make a community challenge where I make a Disco Elysium one.
If like a Disco Elysium fan base catches wind of it, they'll absolutely flood your channel.
All right, and I will make it. I'll make it a decent amount. I won't make it like a. I won't make it crazy, but I feel like I should make it at least a little bigger than I would have done for the PNG tuber one that I have. All right. Oh, and I can do it for a max of 30 days. There we go. All right, and the challenge is up. It's open. It's 30 days now, and it's got to be 15,000. Whee! Community challenge. Disco Elysium. I gotta boop you. Boop. But
you're gonna pay something for Disco Elysium before you play it.
Yeah, basically, probably. I'll probably like play a little bit of it beforehand, and god damn it.
If you do play it, I would absolutely recommend streaming it.
It would probably happen.
Yeah.
So already
also, like,
have one person donated 250 channel points. Thank you, D Birch.
There's also what's it called? Also, like I think Beatrice said he could like let you like stream off his computer, but I remembered I actually already gifted you Disco Elysium.
Did you?
Oh yeah, I think a while ago.
I did. I don't think you did. I remember that you got me Hades. I don't remember.
I might have also gifted you Disco Elysium. All
right, now I have to look. Hold on.
Check your library. I do that sometimes. It was a while.
Oh my god! I do have it.
It was like. But I can't stream Disco Elysium. You already. I don't even own it. How can you say that when the game is already in your library?
How do you do that? No. Okay, and already. Holy shit. How did that happen? How?
Oh. I think they've already.
They've already gotten it to 2K. Wait.
I think they've already like.
Hold on, I need to.
I think they've gotten wind of you. Where do you see the? So where do you see the community challenge?
Oh, so it's at the top of the chat. It says community challenge, and already 2,250 channel points have been donated. As far as I can see.
I'm not using these channel points.
How the fuck? See, that's cheating. That's cheating.
Hey, I get a vote too. I'm cheater. I'm community.
Cheater.
Plus, also these channel points, they're utterly worthless to me.
I have all of these channel points and nothing to do with them. This was the day. This was the time.
Listen, I would rather do this than make you do 5 burpees.
This is fair, honestly. Actually, I gotten better at the burpees, I feel like. I didn't get a sword last time. So yeah, as far as like art style study for next month, I don't really have any specific. I don't have anything specific planned. I feel like I've done Sonic, I've done Sailor Moon. I feel like I could draw a little more of my own original stuff. Let's see here. I've done, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I've done Pokemon. I guess one of the things I could do, I'll put this as a poll on specifically, how the fuck is it already at 5K? Or just under 5K? How the fuck? How did you do that? When did you do that? How the fuck did you do that?
People, what did I say? The community is speaking.
You realize I'm gonna have to take like a whole weekend to do this. I need to get an easel again. I'll have to like Bob Ross it.
You probably need like a GoPro to attach to your head.
GoPro attached to it. And it's just like various shots of my cleavage, just like
one on Twitch.
I mean, if it's gonna happen, if I'm gonna get banned from Twitch, that's gonna be how it happens. And what's worse, it won't even be me being sexy about it. It's just gonna be me going like, okay, what colors am I using? And also, like, it's really hot in here because now is the day that they choose to have the heater on.
Is it like the GoPro just falls off?
Right, and it's just like in my cleavage and in the paint, and I'm like, God damn it.
That might be a fan idea. Krim is Bob Ross.
Oh my god, that'd be funny. It'd be even funnier. So like, there was I don't know how many people know CDawg VA.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
He, I have talked about him before. He used to be, I think he still is a voice actor. CDawg VA was he also streams, but he used to be a little more into like comic dubs and how that industry works. After a while, he kind of stopped doing that. It kind of became like just a Japanese lifestyle YouTuber. It's still very fun. He's very fun. But he used to do like cosplays, like really cheap, like possibly illegally done cosplays. And I'm talking about like $10 cosplays. Like the most expensive cosplays he did was $100, and even then they weren't really good because he doesn't know how to style them. So he gave all of his cosplays over to cosplayers, like professional cosplayers, to see what they would do to them. And one of them is a Bob Ross one where she just decided to make sexy Bob Ross with like the mustache and everything. And it's the funniest shit I ever seen. I will share it. It's very funny. And like, it's especially funny because a lot of these are female, they're female cosplayers. And most of the cosplays he has are female cosplays. So he's just like, so there's a point where you can realize, oh, maybe I should have gotten cosplays meant for men, but then he has like male cosplays and they gave them to a female cosplayer and they were like, no, this is just how it is. This is just me being shit at this. He does not know how to style. But this is the channel, and this is the video that I'm talking about. He does the Bob Ross. She does a Bob Ross one, and it's like she's got like the Daisy Dukes, and then like the crop top button up where she like tied it up. Let's hear. If I had to choose, like, I will post a poll about the art style challenge this month, right? But I'll still make it a poll. While I'm at it, though, I need to shill some stuff really quick. All right. So, as a lot of you might know, I've got a sketch challenge right now. It is on It's on Twitter. It's on DeviantArt. It's on Tumblr. It's on all of the social media platforms. And it is a sketch challenge where you have to decipher my chicken scratch. So you can ink it however you want, draw it however you want. Just use the sketch as a basis of what you interpret what's happening here. Sorry, Moth, I interrupted you.
Yeah, I'll probably I can get to that later sometime.
Yeah.
My only issue is not with this, but other stuff. Just I've been so busy with my RPG campaign. It's I've been wanting to get back to Space Station 14 or do other stuff, but I keep having to go back to working on the sessions.
Right.
It's a heavy burden. Have you actually? My question is, have you ever GM'd a RPG session? Okay. What about a campaign? A full campaign?
have never been able to get all the way up to a campaign. I have gotten to 1 to 2 sessions, and that's it.
So imagine prepping for those 1 or 2 sessions, and then doing that for several months.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not you probably don't put as much effort into it, but it's still constant.
Yeah. So, just so I can get back to the sketch real quick, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So there isn't any cash reward. This isn't a promotion for any sort of thing that I have. I don't have anything to give. I'm not that big of a Twitch streamer. I'm not big as a Twitch streamer at all. But I would like to show off what you've tagged me with at Crimson Glow MLP on Twitter, or at Crimson Glow on Blue Sky, Instagram, Crimson Glow Art, dash art, on Tumblr, and just showing me how you've interpreted this, and I'll post it up not only on my own Twitter or my own social medias, but I'll also have a little showcase of what's going on in this piece, while every once in a while looking over at what everybody has done. It will I'll stop looking for anybody doing this after the 4th. So on Saturday, on the 5th of April, that's when I'll do my stream where I actually complete this piece. And you can do whatever you want to it. You can shrink some things. All I ask is that you use this sketch as your main basis. So does anybody have any questions on that? So we have 2 more weeks left.
Gotcha. I'm sure that's plenty of time to start.
So I'll also repost it here on Twitch. A lot of people who find me, I know, find me on Twitter, so I'll be sending.
It's up for interpretation now, right here.
Just 2 characters as shown here. Yeah. You can show 2 characters, you can show... I think I thought about a panel at one point in this. Yeah, at least as a template. You do have to do a background, I would say. At least a minor background. It doesn't have to be as detailed as everything else. It just has to be here. So use the sketch as how you want.
I'm just imagining, this is completely against this... It's completely against the spirit of the challenge. I'm just imagining someone using this as a base, but some sort of space battle or something, and just how?
They put it through an AI generator to see what's going on, and then they draw that.
No, have some sportsmanship at least.
Please. We should have at least a little bit. Just use the sketch. Use the things. I am somewhat curious as to what it would look like. Like if maybe that'll be another thing I do on stream. I'll like show how AI has interpreted this scene using the chicken scratch and just like seeing, hey, how do I do this? How does it look? What is it doing? But yeah, how does everybody feel?
The chicken scratch, that's like that's always been applied to like my it's always been applied to like how people would describe my handwriting.
Yeah. I tend to be very loose with my sketches. I don't necessarily have like a whole lot of detail put in, or at least I try not to put a lot of detail into the initial sketch. This is what I would call like an initial sketch. And then after that, I would do a more detailed sketch. And then that's when I would do the line art and everything else. But yeah, I think I'm going to end it there. Unless anybody else has any questions on how I process art studies. As far as like doing the art study stuff for the channel and whatnot, I'm going to be posting it on my Discord and my Patreon for what art style I do next. I'm still debating myself what that's going to look like, but you should have an answer within like the next few days, right, of what's going to happen that next week. I felt grateful for some of the advice earlier. Thanks for that. No problem. I'm glad I was able to help. And that I hope that this is a nice way for you to get into drawing. Maybe you weren't really super confident with it now, but I hope that this helped maybe make it a little less scary. I know that learning the fundamentals seems scary, but that's kind of what comes with the work in trying to be an artist. Like, a lot of people don't think it's work. It
Shopping
is.
with your parents can
What the
be
fuck?
embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them?
Ad scare. Let's hear. I felt grateful for the advice earlier. Thanks for that. Yeah. And yeah, I make no promises on if I'll actually get something on paper. It's just something I've been thinking about. Yeah, but sometimes thinking about it is the first step to actually doing it, and then you do it. And then you're like, oh, why was I so scared of this to begin with?
Can't contribute any more channel points to Disco Elysium RP, so I have to wait for the next stream.
Ha! You cheater.
I can't blow all my channel points on
Cheater
like,
McCheater Pants.
I'm not a cheater. I am one of you.
You're a cheater McCheater Pants. Also, how the fuck did you get to 5K? How the fuck do you do that?
Oh, well, it wasn't amazing. Well, I think we just had quite a few channel points left around. It might be a little light on boobs for a while.
Pet. Alright, so I think I'm gonna raid somebody just so that we can wrap up stream today. I'm not feeling super great at the moment, so I need to...
I would love to guide the raid, except I spent all my channel points.
Let's see here. Let's see here. I'm trying to decide who to... Huh? 2,000 of those were me, I think. Damn! You sold me out! Let's see here. I am going to have you... let's see here. I'm gonna point you over to Lumi. She's actually she's actually doing some art herself, and also she is trying to get to 1,000 on Twitch. Please check her out and let her know the Crimson sent you. All right, you guys have a great day. Bye.
Okay, bye.